Nice discussion with the unknown prophet. National anthem versus the real issues at hand.
Now, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this and listening to both sides of this. And the only way to be fair is to listen to both sides and see where each side is coming from and come to an understanding with this whole topic at hand. Now, for all the people that are opposing it, all I want to know is, what are you opposing? Because he clearly stated that it had nothing to do with the anthem. He wasn't disrespecting the soldiers. These points have been made. So, what are you opposing? And then if you're opposing it, how does it affect you in your everyday life for what he's doing as far as taking a knee? Does it affect your job? Does it affect how you're going to perform or how you're going to move forward through the day? No, it doesn't. Now, what he's talking about, is this an issue? We're just trying to look at both sides here. Is this really an issue? And if it is an issue, are you for fixing that issue? And if you are for fixing that issue, then why all the opposing? Why all the getting angry, racial slurs and all this? Well, it shouldn't be done at the job. Okay. Now let's talk about that. How many of you people have showed up to work before you actually clocked in? And you did other things before you clocked in. So yes, you may be at the job, but it ain't time for you to go to work. So he can do what he want to do in the meantime, in between time, before he goes to work. So, and I know a lot of you have done this as well. You've showed up at work early. What are you going to do? Checking your Facebook, going, doing it, talking, doing all kind of stuff. But as soon as it's time to work, then you work. Okay, so he wasn't working at the time, okay? So that's kind of a lame excuse to me anyway. Another thing is, once again, what are you really opposing? I mean, aren't you guys for the betterment of the human race? The issue is for the betterment of the human race. Sorry you had to put a color on it with black people. Well, they were the only ones being shot at an alarming rate. I mean, it's kind of hard not to call attention to it if you really want to be truthful. So the point here, once again, is what are you opposing? Half of you guys have broken the flag code. I didn't even know about the flag code. And I looked it up and I may have broken it once or two, especially on the 4th of July. I know, y'all know what I'm talking about. So with that being said, it's like, I challenge you guys to see, are you for the betterment of the human race? Because that's what this is all about. It has nothing to do with the color. That's the whole point. It has nothing to do with disrespecting the flag. It has nothing to do with the national anthem. These points have been clearly made. But for some reason, you guys do not want to hear that. So that either makes you stubborn and that makes you selfish. That's what it makes you. It makes you stubborn and selfish. Now, if you're stubborn, that means you see only thing from your own perspective, and being selfish is the same way. That's why they call it selfish. So when you have those viewpoints and it's all about you and you're not involving other people's perspective for the greater good of the human race, what does that say? I mean, answer it yourself. I'm sure you're knowledgeable enough to know this by now. I mean, the human race, is time for us to evolve as a whole, not all this separateness. And see, when you guys oppose things for the betterment of the human race, it's separateness. So really, I ask you, whose side are you really on? Are you on the side of the greater good for all of the human race? Or are you just stuck up in this physical world of Democrat and Republican and Donald Trump and all of that stuff? Because once again, there's a whole new consciousness that's evolving right now that's beyond this petty BS that most of you humans are going through. Okay? It's time to raise it up. And if you're going to do that, you have to be open-minded and fight for the greater good for all of humanity. And as Forrest Gump will say, and that's all I have to say about that.